Hey guys, how's it going? So we're back with another video, and today is a very, very special video and a very, very special day for me. We recently crossed 3,000 subscribers on the channel, so I just want to thank all of you so much. You all have made this possible, this video today, and really everything that we've done along the way, and everything that we'll ever do. Now, I first want to address the elephant in the room. I have previously stated that we don't need to mod our guitars, we don't need to buy new guitars, we don't need to buy used guitars, and what we have is, generally speaking, good enough, with a few caveats. And so I make this video and future videos with hesitation, and I want to make sure that we have an understanding. There are circumstances in which it is okay to mod a guitar. Maybe you've got something that is just this close to being the most perfect guitar for you. And if you do that little thing, like locking tuners or something, you'll be there. Great. I fully support that. I think that's a great idea. Maybe you need another color of guitar. Maybe you play on stage and under the lights your guitar doesn't look great. It's hard to see and it matters to you how it looks. So you buy another one of the same type that doesn't really do anything for you other than look better. So there's little things like that, right? And then there's getting something that you thought previously unattainable and unachievable. Now, today's video is about a Gibson Les Paul Standard 50s. The Gibson Les Paul Standard is, no pun intended, the gold standard for a lot of us. We always see them, Jimmy Page, Ace Frehley, Eric Clapton, Slash. You can name a whole bunch of guitar players who have used one. Pretty much every guitar player we've ever heard of has probably used one at one point or another. They've just been so prohibitively expensive for most of us for so long that we just kind of give up on it. And so we spend our time deal hunting, which is what I did, acquiring over 50 guitars. And some would argue they'd rather have those than just a few really nice guitars. But for me, the guitar is a passion for me. It's a project that I've been working on my entire life that will never be completed. I will always be striving to be better. I'll always be striving to be the best. And a Gibson Les Paul Standard was always something for me that stood the test of time. From the way that it's made, where it comes from, the fact it's made here in the USA, everything, nitro paint, the fret nibs, the whole 9 yards. And the fact that they make them now with one-piece bodies with no weight relief really told me that it was time to buy a new one. But I followed my own advice that I've given all of you. I did not buy one at full price. I didn't even buy one at a clearance price. I bought one at a clearance of a clearance price, at a price that is cheaper than the Epiphone 59 reissue. So that's why I bought it. I sold a bunch of other things to get the money to buy it, and it came today. And I can't wait to go unbox it. So let's head into the living room right now. I'm going to hand the phone to my wife. I'm going to have her film this as I do something I'll probably never do again, which is open a new Gibson out of the box. Here we go. I'll fast forward through this part. Oh, look at that case. Wow. All right, let's see it. Wait, am I missing one? Oh yeah, there's one on the side too. Got a certificate from Sweetwater. Before we pick up the guitar, I want to open this and see what's in here. So we've got a strap, we've got the switch tip. Let's see, the strap is worth it. I watched a whole bunch of videos trying to see if it came with a strap or not, and I couldn't find one. So here you go. If you're looking for that, it does come with a strap. It's not very nice though. It's really thin, but it is leather. That's leather, that's for sure. Let's see what else comes in this box. Or in this compartment, I should say. All right. We've got a card telling you to go to a Gibson app. We've got, I'm not sure what's in here. Oh, keys for the case. So I'll put that right back in here. Okay. We've got, what else? An inspection card. This is the pre-pack checklist from Gibson. It's initialed and inspected by somebody. They've even got the measurements for the action. And then a bag. I'm not going to open it, but it feels like there's a truss rod adjustment tool in here and a multi-tool. Yeah, let's open it. Why not? We've got a polishing cloth. We've got a manual. There's a baby back there. A blank truss rod cover. That's an interesting touch. And we've got a multi-tool. This is really cool. It says Gibson on it. It looks like it's got Allen wrenches and a truss rod adjuster and
Watch
everything
out.
built into one. Hi, baby. All right, well, let's pick it up and see. But before we do that, let's screw the switch tip on. And we will. Yes, you like it, don't you, baby? I do too. All right. Watch your hands, honey. Can you get down? Whee! You just really want that case, don't you? There you go.
It is pretty.
So here it is.
Wow.
It says Made in USA on the back, as it should. It's very heavy. I chose it for that reason. It's a 10-pounder. It's like a 10 pounds, 2 ounces, I think. No, baby. Oh, sorry. All right. It's in tune. Listen to that, just acoustically. The neck profile is great. It's the Chunky 50s neck profile. I love the tuning keys. It's the vintage style. And the color, really, I mean, the pictures don't do it justice. This is a very, very bright looking red. Very, very bright looking red. And it's got a Tune-O-Matic bridge. Sorry, ABR bridge, not a Nashville bridge. I think it has an aluminum stop tailpiece, which I thought it was odd that it called that out. But yeah, there it is. Let's take it out to the Marshall stack and see what it can do. Before we get started, I want to do something here that I should do every time that I didn't do in the past, which is, let's talk about the rig. How many times have you seen an audio video or audio sample of a guitar and you're like, man, what was his signal chain? Well, I'm going to show you. So up top, we've got the Marshall Origin 50. I love this amp. This is probably my favorite amp that I've ever owned. It's a 1-channel, and you can see where I've got everything. 7, 7, 7. I've got the tilt on 3. I have the gain boost pulled out, turned to 10. The presence is down all the way. And then the master, I'm going to put it up to about 8. But I'm going to turn it down so that you can hear me. The Spider is just for show. This is actually my backup amp on stage. So if one of my tubes blows up or something, this has everything built into it. I don't need a board. I actually like it. We did a video on it. It's not out yet, but you'll see it soon. And then this is the 412, Marshall MG 412A. This is kind of like a midget-sized cabinet. It's almost, if you look at the 5150 next to it, which is a 10-inch speaker, it's almost the same size as a 10-inch speaker 5150, but that's 412s in there. They're just Chinese MG speakers, but I love this thing. It's really light. It's easy to move. I love using it for gigs. It sounds awesome, and it sounds really good with this Marshall Origin 50. By the way, I do have the attenuation set on mid for this demo. Let's go down to the floor here. In the effects loop, we have a Holy Grail reverb and an Echoplex delay. And then my board, I have, starting from right to left, we're going in through this. This is a Joyo receiver. It adds a little bit of compression. So even though I'm not gigging right now, I like to use it because I like the compression effect that it gives my signal. I've got a Hendrix wah. The Hendrix wah goes into the tuner. The tuner goes into a vintage phaser from Behringer, into this cheapo Tom's Line flange, up to this cheapo Lutkey chorus, to a TS7, to a DS1, to a SD1. Then this goes to the front of the amp. And into that is going to go our Les Paul Standard 50s. And we're going to start with none of the board turned on. It's just going to be straight Marshall. Then we'll just start adding stuff, and I'll call out what it is as we go. So there's your rundown. There's your signal chain. Let's get the guitar out and let's go. All right, here we go. Got my hearing protection on. I got the amp turned up to 7. It is cooking. And we're going to go with the Les Paul Standard 50s. No effects at first. Let's go. Good. Man, I've never played anything like that. Man, cranked Marshall with this thing. They're right. The boomers are right when they make those statements about how they're plugging their Gibson Les Paul into their Marshall stack. Man, holy cow, is it an experience. You gotta try this if you haven't. Okay, this is my real first reaction too. I've not actually plugged this in. I hit record right before, I don't know. All right, let's try to play something a little softer. Let's go up to the neck. Turn on some of the Holy Grail reverb too. And the Echoplex. It's interesting that it sounds good even with, like, you just roll that volume back and it's still responding the whole way through. So I turned the boost of the amp off, and let's turn that neck pickup back on and see what we can get out of it. Let's turn the boost back on. Let's go back down to the neck and let's start messing with stuff. Let's go like with the SD1. Man, I really don't know what else to say. That's just crazy. That's just absolutely crazy how good this guitar sounds. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. All right, so we got talk. So, I don't know, this is completely mind-blowing to me. Now, we're going to do a comparison between this and the Epiphone Les Paul Standard 50s, which is, I think, a great comparison for us to do. Because the Epiphone Les Paul Standard 50s has been my very, very, very favorite guitar since I got it. Number one. Tied with this one, which is kind of off camera, but I'll hold it. pick it up, show it to you. This one. I don't know what to say. I'm really at a loss for words. I'm a guy who is like a budget king. If you follow me for long enough, you know that. The more the merrier. I like to buy as many guitars as I can and make them sound great. And we've modded thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of mods on this channel, thousands of dollars worth of guitars on this channel. And dare I say that this guitar stock is better than any of those post-mod. Besides maybe this one, the one I held up just now. It's worth the money. It's worth it. Now, caveat. If we're comparing this to like an Epiphone standard, which are amazing guitars by the way, it's not a fair comparison. Okay? And the thing is, this isn't like rose-colored glasses, you know, confirmation that I made a good purchase confirmation, because I got this from Sweetwater. Sweetwater's local to me. I can drive to Sweetwater with this guitar right now and get a refund, so it's not like I bought it, I'm stuck with it. I can't find a fault with it. The big fat 50s neck profile, these pickups, the way that the neck feels with the nitro, the way it looks, this really loud and bright color, it's just, it's exceeded my expectations somehow. I don't know how, but it exceeded my expectations. You heard it. And it's not just about how it sounds. It sounds amazing. It sounds better than any other guitar. This is, I think, the BB1 and BB2. So these are the low output burst buckers. I mean, I'm a guy who likes super distortions and invaders and stuff. And these pickups are some of the best sounding pickups I've ever heard. The weight that this guitar has, it's super heavy. I picked a really heavy one on purpose. I'm just kind of at a loss for words. And it makes me question these people that say like, well, it's just a name on a headstock that you're paying for. I seriously wonder if any of these guys have actually played one of these or were able to achieve this. And I'm not patting myself on the back here. I'm being totally serious when I say, and I understand the sentiment, right? Let's say that I could never in a million years of my whole life ever afford a Gibson Les Paul Standard. Then obviously I would find every reason I could to slam it. I find every reason I could to justify not owning one. It's like a Lamborghini, right? Most of us will never own a Lamborghini. We can easily justify and be like, well, there's no way it's $80,000 better than anything else that I might buy. I'll never need to use all that engine power. It's not practical. I don't want to take it somewhere. It might get scratched in the parking lot. I'm not going to take it to Kroger or Lowe's or Menards or Home Depot or wherever you go. I'm not going to go park it in that parking lot. Like, what's the point? You can think of a million reasons not to have one because you'll never have one. But assuming you could have one, you should have one. Anyone out there who's thinking about it, get it. If you have the means, get it. If you can sell other guitars to get one, get it. This is a buy once, cry once situation. And I've heard that phrase and I get it now. Yeah, you cry once, but you buy once. And I'll never need another Les Paul. I'll never need another Les Paul. Let's run through my checklist from when I said you don't need to buy another guitar. Okay? Aesthetics. It looks better than my other Les Paul. Okay? Feel. It feels better than my other Les Paul. Sound. It sounds better than my Les Paul. Can it do something that my other guitars can't do? I would argue yes. The sound of these pickups, because they're lower output, that means I can crank the Marshall even louder. And because the amp is louder, I'm getting, you can actually, when you play lighter, I always wondered about this, because Malcolm Young, the way he played, Angus would talk about how, yeah, Malcolm, my brother, would dig into the guitar to get the amp to overdrive. And I was always like, what are you talking about, man? That doesn't make any sense. But because we're all spoiled now. We all have these high output, super Alnico pickups and stuff. Hot ceramic pickups and stuff. But what I'm starting to realize just from that short demo of me playing this through this Marshall, which was turned up almost all the way, with these low output pickups, it really was, if you played it lighter, it was a lot quieter. And if you dug into it, you were kind of driving those tubes into breakup. And it was crazy. It was crazy. I can't praise this guitar enough, I really can't. And even outside of that, let's say you argue, well, it's not worth that much for a name on a headstock. Even if that were true, because in my opinion, it's more than a name on a headstock. This is built remarkably well. The weight is great. I feel a connection to it. I love the color. I love the way it feels. I love the way it sounds. So it is better than an Epiphone, just to me, black and white. But let's say it was just about the name on the headstock. That's okay. It can be about the name on the headstock. We shouldn't be ashamed to achieve great things. We shouldn't be ashamed to have nice things. Gibson means something to a lot of people. To us guitarists, it means something. To us, not us, to you older guitarists, it might mean they're not as good as they used to be. And you're probably right. My friend is a septuagenarian. He's had a guitar store for over 50 years and he's still running it to this day. He can't stand Gibson today because he lived through the glory days of Gibson when they were great. He watched them fall slowly and then rapidly. In my opinion, this is a recovery for the brand. And it's okay if that name on the headstock means something to you. Because to some of us, we never thought we would ever have one. And when I look down and I see it, it's full fat, no holds barred. It's not a Les Paul but or a Les Paul except. It is a Les Paul in every conceivable way and in every perfect way. And if you have the means, you absolutely should get one. Even if it means selling off some of your other stuff. So, there you go. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate all of you. And I say that every video, but I really mean it. We crossed 3,000 subscribers, and it blows my mind that that happened. The fact that there are some people right now hearing these words right now, and you're still watching this, that means more to me than you know. It means more to me than you know. The guitar, playing for all of you, singing, writing music, having my band, and all that stuff, it's not about me. It's about you. It's about giving you something. And you will give me something back by watching and telling me what you think. Because I value all of you. And I just thank you all so much. I really do believe that this Les Paul in my hands right now is because of all of you guys. You helped make this happen for me. And I appreciate all of you, and I'm very blessed. So, yeah, there you go. Thanks again. Please join the Discord if you haven't already. We talk about guitar gear, etc. In a rare stroke of confidentiality, I have not mentioned this guitar in the Discord. You're all finding out about it at the same time as they are. But usually I drop early things in there. We talk about guitars, we talk about mods. There's somebody who screwed up the tone pot on his guitar. So hey man, if you're watching, it's our friend from New Zealand. If you're watching, hey, shout out to you. We're helping him figure out how to rewire that. So, you know, that's something that we do in there. Please join it. We have a good time in there. So thanks again so much. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you next time. Keep on rocking.